Hello, it's me again. Today I want to show you one of my book collections that is the comic book of the world's most influential people or figures. So, normally I talk about movies, of course, and this channel focuses mainly about movies, but today I decided to just show you one of my book collections that I got, and this is one of the sample of the world's most influential people's series number 25, that is Walt Disney. So this book is a biography, and this was released in this styling. So it's a comic book, so it's a graphic biography of the famous or influential peoples in the world. Take a look at that. And when they first released or published this entry or this series, they released 25 entries that are listed on the front and the back cover. There you go. Walt Disney, Madame Curie, the Wright brothers, Sir Isaac Newton, Siddhartha Gautama, Julius Caesar, Helen Keller, and in the back, you can see more Abraham Lincoln over there, Mahatma Gandhi, Napoleon, Thomas Edison. In total, there are 25 main line of these comic book collections. So at that time, when I was in elementary school and junior high school, I wanted to collect all 25 of them, and I got all 25 of these comic books. So let's dive deeper into this world's most influential people's collection, starting from Volume 1. Volume 1, we've got Siddhartha Gautama. Volume 2, we got Julius Caesar. Volume 3, we got Christopher Columbus. Volume 4, we got Leonardo da Vinci. These were written by different illustrators and different authors, so the style of the images inside that differ from one entry to another. In all of the 25 early entries, they all have the images of the available titles. They have this recap of the timeline of the life of the figures. Number 5, we have Michelangelo. Number 6, we have Galileo. Then number 7, we have Sir Isaac Newton. Then number 8, we have Johann Sebastian Bach. I haven't opened these books for years and years and years. You can hear the sound of the plastic. So all of them, they got the comic book. That's the main selling point of the series. But each and every one of them got the timeline like that, and also the brief summary and biography of the influential figure, and sometimes also Q&A. Then number 9, we have George Washington. Number 10, we have Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. This reminds me of that movie Amadeus, which I think is a masterpiece. It's a marvelous movie. And then move to volume 11. It is Napoleon Bonaparte. Then volume 12, we have Ludwig van Beethoven. And then volume 13, one of my favorite figures, Hans Christian Andersen. Of course, Andersen is the creators of so many children's fairy tales that we are growing up with and we ended up being in love with. For example, like the Disney's Little Mermaid. I think, yeah, this was originated from Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales. And now let's move to the next one, volume 14, Abraham Lincoln. That's a sticker of UN volunteers because my father was working for the United Nations back in the early 2000s. I think it's 2001 or 2 in Timor. I think it was because Timor was in the process of separating themselves from Indonesia at the time, and it created some sort of massive chaos back then. So there were UN troops there, and my father worked for the United Nations at that time, so I got the sticker. That's Abraham Lincoln. And then let's move to the next one, volume 15, Florence Nightingale. Volume 16, Nobel. Volume 18, Thomas Edison. Number 18 is Madame Curie. And then volume 19 is Wright Brothers. There again, they added the list of the original, the OG titles in the list from 1 to the 25th, which is Walt Disney. And then let's move to a volume 20. It's Gandhi. Volume 21, we have Albert Schweitzer. And then volume 22, we have Isadora Duncan. And there's the stuff UN volunteer added to this one. I don't know why. I think because at the point I wanted to work in the UN as well, but that didn't happen. So, as a matter of fact, perhaps a little story, I did want to work for the UN. I think it was just a cool thing to do, and I grew up watching The Rescuers with the Rescue Aid Society, and I do think that working in such institution is something that is very meaningful and something that is, I don't know, it's just cool, and I just wanted to be a part of this organization, but it just can't be the reality. So at one point in my life, I tried to learn as much as I could about the United Nations through this book, for example, so that I could join the institution. But things didn't always go as planned or as we wish things should be. So yeah, I cannot be part of the United Nations, I think. When people ask me about my dream job, I think perhaps this is it. Well, nobody really wants to have a job, but if I must say it, I probably answer that this is my dream. Being a diplomatic person, and then yeah, traveling around the world for something that is very, very meaningful and very important. Very well, let's move to the next one. Enough the sentimentality. The next one is number 23. We got Albert Einstein. The ones that look very, very old is, of course, is the earlier versions or earlier copies that I have. Take a look at that. It's a very, very old. Looks very old, and inside you can see I marked these numbers because these are the ones that I got or I haven't got at that time. I think it was when I think this is when I was in mid elementary school. I think perhaps third or fourth grade, and I wanted to collect all 25 entries of the series. And the ones that I got, I gave the check mark, and the ones that I didn't have, well, I didn't leave any mark. Now I have all of them. Well, move to the next one, number 24. That is Helen Keller. And then the next one, number 25, is of course my favorite of them all, Walt Disney. Walt Disney, the person, is it's like my most number one inspiration. That is Mr. Walt Disney. I collect the Disney movies, Disney animations. They're my favorite movies, and I collect them on different formats: video, CD, VHS, DVD, Blu-ray. That's because I really love the movies, and also because I really, really love Walt Disney, the person. Like he's like my inspiration for a lot of things. And take a look at the book. Looks wrinkled, looks like it's been read so many times, because that is the case. I read this book so many times, so it's just like it's terrible now. And in one of my videos I mentioned that I can never read from wrinkled books. So I don't know when that really happened, when that really developed my inability to read terrible or wrinkled old books, but that wasn't the case when I was in elementary school, apparently. But later on in my life, perhaps in my teen years, I developed that feeling that I cannot read these type of books anymore. So I purchased a newer one. This one looks more pristine, looks newer because it is newer compared to this one. And yeah, take good care of the newer version of this entry Walt Disney. I keep the old one just to remind myself about the past. So I keep this one for the sake of sentimentality. and it's getting very, very difficult to find these copies today. I don't think they're still selling these ones in bookstore. I haven't checked online. Perhaps they also sell these ones online, but in bookstores, I don't. I've never seen these books in years and years and years now. So that is the original selections of these world's most influential figures from volume 1 to volume 25. But I think because these type of books, this type of biography was very, very popular, and they printed these ones so many times, I think they decided to just expand the selection. So I think at the end of the publication, they got like 80 volumes. I do not have all of them. My main point is just to collect the first 25 because that's the original ones, and I think the 1 through 25, they're the best um, entries. And if I compare them with the newer ones, the illustration is not as good, the information is not as good. I mean, it's not as reliable, I dare to say. So the OG 1 through 25 is the must have for me. But let's go deeper and see the expanded um, selections of this world's most influential figures. Let's go to number 26. We have Lord Baden-Powell. Number 27, we have Louis Pasteur. Notice that they still use the original 25 entries of the original series. So there's no Louis Pasteur or Lord Baden-Powell. There's the original 25 titles from the original series. Let's move to number 28. We have James Watt. Number 29, we have Alexander Graham Bell. Number 30, we have Richard Trevithick. Starting from number 30, we notice a slight difference in the front cover, the design of the front cover, and the back cover. If you compare to the number 1 to 29, it looks like that. And the newer ones, number 30 onward, it looks like that. The design of the back. Very well, let's now move to number 31. I do not have number 31, sadly, but I have number 32. It's Alexander the Great. And then number, let's just try to make it faster here. Number 33, Gregor Mendel. And then we got number 34, Charles Darwin. Number 35, Pythagoras. Number 37, Nelson Mandela. And number 38, Martin Luther King Jr. These two volumes are very, very influential for my life. Number 37 and number 38, Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King Jr. I used to bring these two books to the elementary school and read these books over and over again, and my friends were like, why are you reading these two books, these two black characters? Because I got bullied so many times in elementary school because I am not exactly 100% Indonesian. So I couldn't I and still cannot blend in with the Indonesian because my skin is much darker compared to my peers, and I got bullied many times because of that. And these books, Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King, gave some sort of comfort and some sort of confidence in me in order to face the reality, to face the world, to face the bullies. That being a black person would does not limit my ability to achieve so many things, and thanks to these books and the figures, of course, Mr. Mandela and Martin Luther King, they gave such huge inspiration for me personally. So there you go, Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King Jr., two of the very inspirational books that helped me, you know, going through the bullies and my childhood life. Well, let's move to the next one. We got Benjamin Franklin in number 39. And then number 40, we have Indira Gandhi. And then they expand the series beyond number 40, as I mentioned before. At the end of the publication, they probably publish over 80 titles, including Lady Diana, which I do not have, and I've never seen one for sale in stores, and I've never seen one listed anywhere for Princess Diana. So yeah, there you go. But let's just move to the next ones. We got a volume 41, that is Admiral Chang Ho. Number 42, we have Nostradamus. Number 43, we have Ronson. And number 44, we have this very famous person, Bill Gates. And number 45, we have the Pope. And number 46, we have Michael Faraday. Number 47, we have Mr. Anthony. I dare not to mention his name because I fear that I butcher the name of this influential figure. Number 48, we got Franklin Roosevelt. Number 49, we got Thomas Jefferson. Number 50, we got Vasco da Gama. Number 51, we have Marco Polo. And this entry of Marco Polo is the one that started to, I don't know, I just read this one and I feel it's very suspicious because they added lots of mystery, lots of myth, and lots of supernatural things inside this story, and that makes no sense. And I don't think that this book is true to the actual biography of Marco Polo. Well, let's now move to the next one, number 52. We have Archimedes. And then a number 56, so we jump to 56 now. This one is probably one of the worst. Take a look at the image of the horse over there. Just terrible. And this one copies a lot from other books. I was so baffled. That looks like a image from another comic book that I have. I forgot the title, but I remember that these are from another comic book. The last two titles that I have in my collection is Margaret Thatcher number 72 and William Shakespeare number 80. So they published 80 titles of world's most influential people, and I do not know if they expand this one even further. But that's all that I got in my collection. The first 25, that's the most important one, the OG one, the best version, the most well written and well illustrated is number 1 through 25. That's the must have. And then they expanded the title to number 80. I do not have most of them post number 30. I do not have John Kennedy. They got John Kennedy over there. They got Lady Diana over there, Alexandrina, Victoria, and Braille, Mother Teresa. I do not have those. Those are the newer ones. I noticed the paper for the new releases, they're different from the earlier ones. Like the original 1 through 24, they got this white paper like that, and the newer one, it got the book paper like the modern novels. It's more lightweight, but it's not as good quality as the older ones. Yeah, you can start to see the discoloration over there. Yeah, that's the degradation of the paper. That didn't happen with the older one, the original series from 1 through 25, and some of the expansion, probably till number 50s, they still use the old book, the old type of paper. So I think that is all that I wanted to share with you at this very moment. If you're still with me, I sincerely say thank you very much. Take care and goodbye.